The sheriff promised mercy, but his own daughter stood accused. Rain hit my face. The night felt wrong. I heard a gunshot. People screamed and ran. I ran toward the old mill. My feet slid in mud. My heart banged hard. "Father!" I shouted. The sheriff's lamp swung ahead. "Stay back," he said. "This is the law. I need to help," I said. "Do not argue," he said. "Trust my promise." I followed anyway. Wind pushed the mill door. It banged the wall. A body lay on the floor. I knew the coat. I knew the hair. "Ethan," I said. My voice broke. I dropped to my knees. "Do not touch the body," my father said. His tone was cold. "I need to see him," I whispered. "He needs mercy now," he said. "Not your hands." Ethan lay in blood. The pool spread wide. His chest lifted once, then stopped. A badge lay on his vest. My badge. The silver looked dark. "Why is my badge here?" I asked. "Where were you tonight?" My father asked. "I was at home," I said. "He was late." "I came to the mill." "Alone?" he asked. "Alone," I said. I needed the truth. People pressed the doorway. Faces stared from shadow. Whispers rose like flies. "She argued with him," someone said. "I saw it yesterday," another voice said. "Silence," my father said. "All of you step back." I stared at Ethan's hands. They were empty. His ring was gone. "Clara," my father said. "Tell me again." "Where were you?" "I told you," I said. "I walked here. I needed courage. Did you bring a gun?" he asked. "No," I said. "I brought hope." He lifted the badge with a cloth. He held it toward me. "Is this yours?" he asked. "It is," I said. I gave it to him. "It was a promise." "A promise for what?" he asked. "For our future," I said. "For trust and mercy." He studied my face. Rain slid off his hat. "Who knew you gave it to him?" he asked. "Ruth knew," I said. "She said keep it secret." "And did Ethan keep it?" he asked. "He kept it close," I said. Young Sam stepped in, small and wet. "I saw a man run," Sam said. "I hid by the fence." "What man?" my father asked. "I could not see," Sam said. "He moved like a shadow." "Did he carry a gun?" my father asked. "I heard metal," Sam said. "Maybe a gun." My father looked at me. He weighed each word. "You argued with Ethan," he said. "Is that true?" "It is," I said. "Yesterday." "He wanted money. For what?" my father asked. "He said men came at night," I said. My father turned to the crowd. "Did anyone else hear shots?" he asked. "Just one," a man said. I pressed my hand to my chest. Empty space. My badge once rested there. Warm metal. "Bright hope, Father," I said. "Do you believe me?" He did not answer. His silence cut deep. "I did not shoot him," I said. "Clara," he said at last. "This town needs justice. I need mercy," I said. "I need my father." He lifted Ethan's coat. A folded note slid out. He read it at the lamp. "What is it?" I asked. "A meeting," he said. "Tonight. At the mill. Who signed it?" I asked. "No name," he said. "A crooked star." My heart jumped. I knew that mark. I saw it on a crate. Fear filled my stomach. "Say it," my father said. "What do you know?" "I cannot prove it," I said. But Deputy Hank met Ethan. They spoke in the yard. My father faced the dark town. "Hank," he shouted. No answer came back. Only wind. He faced me again. "The law stood like a wall, Clara," he said. "What have you done?" The words hit like a bullet. My knees shook. "I told you the truth," I said. "I kept my promise." He closed his eyes. When he opened them, they were hard. "For now," he said, "you will come with me." "Am I under arrest?" I asked. "You are my daughter," he said. "But the town needs answers." "I want the truth too," I said. "I want justice." "Then trust the law," he said. "Trust your father." I looked at Ethan one last time. I touched the cold badge. I set it on his heart. I stood in the rain. "Lead me," I said. "I will walk." We left the mill in silence. The crowd parted slow. Night dragged like a chain. Hope fell inside me. Courage thinned. Yet I kept my head up. Mercy did not live here now. It died when he spoke. Home felt far. Jail felt close. Tears burned my eyes tonight. I whispered to the dark. I will find the truth. I woke to iron bars and cold air. My head throbbed hard. The floor smelled like old water. The cell felt small and mean. I touched my cheek. It burned. Boots echoed down the hall. I stood and wiped my face. Keys scraped metal. I held my breath and waited. A shape filled the space. "Father?" I said softly. Please look at me. He raised his head a little. His eyes looked tired and dark. They did not hold mercy. They held law and fear. I did not kill Ethan, I said. I swear it. My voice shook and broke. You know me. You know my heart. He watched the floor and stayed quiet. Silence spread like cold smoke. He finally spoke, slow and flat. The town wants justice, he said. I promised justice to them. Mercy must wait, he said. Even for my blood. My blood? I echoed, shocked. I am your daughter. I reached toward him through the gap. He did not take my hand. He looked past me to the wall. Tell me what happened, he said. Tell me the truth. I nodded and swallowed my fear. We argued, I said. Ethan hid something from me. I told him about the late nights. I told him about the strange men. He said it was nothing, I said. But his eyes told me fear. He stared at the badge on my dress. Why was your badge on him, he asked. The question cut like a knife. I gave it to him, I said. He asked to keep it safe. I heard my words and hated them. He closed his eyes for a breath. People talk, he said. They say you were jealous. I stepped back and shook my head. No, I said. I loved him. My voice fell to a whisper. But I loved truth more. Keys clinked along the hall again. Deputy Hank laughed somewhere far off. My father did not turn around. He kept his eyes on the ground. Do you believe me? I asked. He did not answer the question. The judge comes at noon, he said. We will hold a hearing. His tone sounded like winter. You will stand like any other. Father, hear my heart, I said. Home, promise, courage, silence, tears. The words came like a prayer. I never broke the law, I said. I never stained our name. He lifted his head a little. His mouth opened, then closed again. The law is blind, he said. It cannot see blood. He touched the badge on his chest. I saw the weight bend his shoulders. I need to keep the town calm, he said. I need to keep peace. I am afraid, I admitted. I fear the night. My hands curled around the bars. I need your help, I said. Please choose me, not the crowd. My words hit him like stones. Your mother prays for you, he said. She asked me to listen. He paused and rubbed his temple. But I must be a sheriff, he said. I cannot be only a father. Then look in my eyes, I said. See truth and pain. I held his gaze without blinking. Trust me or kill me, I said. But do not stand in between. He stepped close and lowered his voice. I will not lie for you, he said. I will not hide evidence. His breath smelled like coffee and dust. If you are innocent, he said, truth will find you. Justice without mercy breaks people, I said. Mercy without justice breaks towns. I saw a flicker in his eyes. It died as soon as it lived. We will do what is right, he said. Right is not always soft. He checked his watch and turned away. Father, I said again, almost breaking. Say you believe me. He stopped but did not turn. I believe in the law, he said. The law will decide. He walked away down the long hall. I cried then, but not long. Tears helped, then left me empty. I breathed and counted to 10. I heard my heart slow down. Night shadows slid from my mind. I faced the morning like iron. I will live, I told myself. I will fight for the truth. My voice grew steady and clear. Hope, freedom, forgiveness, choice, fate, I whispered. The words felt like small lights. Law, blood, truth, mercy, father, jail, fear. I chose courage over silence. Hope stayed close. The jail was cold that morning. I sat on the hard bench, holding my knees. The wall smelled of rust and fear. The sun tried to come through the small window, but it failed. I heard boots on the floor. When I looked up, I saw Ruth. She stood outside my cell, holding her hands tight. Her eyes were red and her lips shook. Clara, she said softly. I had to come. I stood up. They let you in? They did. Sheriff said I could talk, my father. Always the law first. Never the father. Ruth stepped closer. Everyone's saying you shot Ethan. Her words hit me like stones. I took a breath, slow, painful. Do you believe that, Ruth? She looked away. People talk. They saw you two fighting that night. Yes, I said. We fought. He lied to me, she whispered. About the money. I shook my head. About the promise, Ruth frowned. What promise? The one he made to me. and to my father. I took a step closer to the bars. He said he'd stop helping Hank move those boxes by the river. He said he was done. But he wasn't. Ruth's eyes widened. You mean the smuggling? I nodded. I told him I'd tell the sheriff. He begged me not to. He said he'd fix it. We argued. Ruth pressed her fingers against the bars. But they found his gun near you. I know. I touched it. I tried to help him. He was still breathing when I got to him. Her mouth trembled. Clara, everyone says you lost control. I laughed, but it sounded like crying. Lost control? Ruth, I lost everything. But not my mind. She looked down. I saw you running after him. I thought you were angry. I was. But I didn't kill him. Ruth's voice broke. Then who did? I shook my head. You wouldn't believe me. Tell me anyway. It was Hank. She froze. The deputy? Yes. Ethan told me Hank was moving something from the old mill. He said the sheriff didn't know. I told Ethan to stop before it got him killed. He laughed. Said Hank had friends in high places. Ruth whispered. You think Hank shot him? I don't think I know. I saw the flash by the fence. Her face went pale. Then why don't you tell your father? I looked at her hard. Because my father doesn't listen anymore. He listens to the badge, not to me. Ruth started crying. They're saying you'll hang, Clara. I felt my stomach twist. I know. She reached through the bars and grabbed my hand. Say something, please. Don't let them do this. I've said everything. Nobody cares about my words now. Maybe the marshal coming from the capital will. I frowned. Marshal? She nodded. He's coming to check the case. Hank told the town it's just for form. But people say the marshal's not easy to buy. I felt something stir in me, a small flame of hope. Do you think he'll listen? Ruth nodded slowly. If you tell him what you told me, I squeezed her hand. Will you stand with me when I do? She hesitated. Then, I'm scared, Clara. Hank's dangerous. He came to my house last night. He told me to stay quiet. Anger filled me. He threatened you? She nodded. He said accidents happen. I wanted to scream, but my voice came out calm. Then you have to tell the marshal, too. I can't, she whispered. I have my brother to protect. Then at least don't lie again. She looked at me like I'd slapped her. I didn't lie. You said you saw me shoot him. Her lips shook. I didn't say that. I said I saw you near him. Same thing to their ears, she cried harder. I'm sorry. I turned away, my throat tight. Sorry won't save me. There was silence. Only the sound of wind through the bars. Clara, she whispered. Do you hate me? I closed my eyes. No, I hate the fear in this town. I hate what it makes people do. She reached through again. Please stay alive. I'll try, I said. But if I don't, promise me one thing. What? When this is over, tell the truth. Not to the court. To yourself, Ruth nodded, tears falling on her hands. I promise. Then she turned and walked away. Her steps echoed down the hall, soft and slow. I sat again on the cold bench. Outside the cell, Deputy Hank leaned against the wall. He smiled when our eyes met. Slow, lazy, cruel. Nice visit? He asked. I didn't answer. He tapped his badge. Keep talking, sweetheart. Every word digs your grave. Then he walked off, whistling. The sound stayed with me long after he was gone. I stared at the bars and whispered to the empty air. They'll break before I do. The hallway was quiet that night. I sat in the jail cell alone. Cold iron pressed my back hard. I whispered. Home felt very far. My breath shook in the silence. Footsteps came slow down the hall. A key scraped the lock plate. Hank Miller stood outside my bars. He smiled like a cheap knife. I said, Deputy, you came late. He said, late still beats never. He lifted the lamp to my face. He said, you look better frightened. I said, I look better free. He laughed and set the lamp. He said, let us trade truth. I said, I only want justice. He leaned close to the bars. He said, justice needs a story. I said, truth already has one. He whispered, not the town's truth. My stomach turned hard with anger. He said, Ethan dug too deep. I said, he served the law. He nodded slowly and watched me. He said, law bends for money. I said, then bend it back. He said, you loved Ethan, yes? I said, I loved his courage. He said, courage met a bullet. My hands gripped the rusted bars. I said, "Tell me the names." He said, "Names buy me favors." I said, "I have no money." He tapped the badge on the bench. He said, "You wore mercy's symbol." I said, "It once touched my father." He said, "Your father promised mercy." He paused and studied my face. He said, "Save him with one choice." I said, "What choice saves truth?" He said, "Confess before the morning." I stared at him in disbelief. I said, "Confess to Ethan's death?" He said, "Yes, for the town's peace." I said, "Peace built on lies breaks." He said, "Lies hold better than tears." I whispered, "My father values truth." He said, "Your father values order." I said, "Order without justice is fear." He looked down the empty hall. He said, "Crowds need a clean story." I said, "Crowds can learn patience." He said, "Not with blood on streets." My throat burned with sudden rage. I said, "You framed me, Hank." He said, "I arranged what you left." I said, "You moved the badge." He said, "Your badge fit the tale." I said, "Ethan trusted me completely." He said, "Trust made him careless." I said, "You betrayed the sheriff's house." He said, "The sheriff betrayed himself first." I said, "He kept faith with law." He said, "He kept power, not law." I remembered my mother's letter. Its promise steadied my shaking hands. I said, "My mother prayed mercy." He said, "Prayer will not pay." I said, "Truth pays in time." He said, "Time runs out tonight." I stepped closer to the bars. I said, "Why do all this?" He said, "Smugglers pay for silence." I said, "You sold the town." He said, "The town sold itself." I said, "Ethan knew your secret." He said, "He guessed and got shot." I said, "Did you pull trigger?" He smiled and did not answer. He said, "I manage things, Clara." I said, "You manage fear and shadow." He said, "Fear keeps people safe." I said, "Fear keeps people quiet." He said, "Confess and walk free." I said, "Free with a broken name?" He said, "Names heal with time." I said, "Memory does not heal." He said, "Fate forgets the details." I said, "Mine never will forget." He sighed and softened his voice. He said, "Confess for your father." I said, "My father needs truth." He said, "Your father needs the badge." I said, "The badge needs clean hands." He said, "Clean hands are expensive." I said, "You priced mercy in coins." He said, "I priced peace for home." I said, "Home built on betrayal falls." He leaned even closer to me. He said, "This is your last chance." I said, "Then here is my answer." I spat straight through the bars. Spit struck his cheek and dripped. He froze, then wiped it slow. He laughed, harsh in the dark. He whispered, "Die with his pride." He said, "Last chance to live free." I said, "I live with truth, not fear." Night held its breath. He blew out the lamp with breath. Darkness folded the hallway tight. His boots faded down the corridor. The lock clicked and sealed again. I pressed my forehead to iron. Tears came, but I held them. I said, "Truth, stay with me." The night listened without judgment. A thin breeze slipped under the door. It smelled like rain and dust. I counted breaths and found courage. Memory brought Ethan's final smile. Pain rose, but hope rose too. I said, "I choose courage now." I planned for the morning light. I would name every secret aloud. I would ask the marshal's help. I would show the bullet case. I would trust the law again. I would carry my father's promise. I would fight for justice, not mercy. I would walk out to freedom. I would not break in silence. Rain began at dusk. Soft taps on iron bars. I sat on the jail floor. Cold bit my ankles. Boots stopped outside my cell. A key scraped once. I did not look up. I feared another lie. "Clara," my mother whispered. "Stand, my child. Come close." I rose and stepped forward. The bars kissed my forehead. "The law said no visits," I said. "Why are you here?" "The law bends for mercy," she said. "Only for a minute." She slid a folded letter through. Her hands shook. "Take this," she said. "Read it after I go home." "Stay," I begged. "I need your voice. I need home." "I will stay one breath," she said. "Then I go." "Do you trust me?" she asked. "Even now, my love." "I do," I said. "I trust you more than life." Then listen, she said. Guard your heart in this jail. From who? I asked. From father? From the deputy. From fear, she said. Fear eats truth, courage, and hope. Her voice thinned with pain. The corridor held its breath. Mother, I asked, do you believe me? Please say it. She pressed her fingers to the bars. I know it. You know I am innocent? I whispered. My knees softened. I know, she said. God knows. Mercy knows. I know. Heat lifted inside me. A shadow fell off my chest. Father will not say it, I said. His eyes hurt. Your father bleeds in silence, she said. He is trapped. Trapped by justice? I asked. Or by his old oath? By love and duty, she said. Both feel like chains. Rain thickened over town. Thunder rolled down the street. The deputy pushed me hard, I said. He wants a confession. Do not pay with lies, she said. Let justice come clean. What if justice never comes? I asked. What if fate wins? Hope fights longer, she said. Hope endures the longest night. Mother, I said, what is in this letter? A prayer, she said. A promise. And my goodbye. Goodbye? I choked. Are you leaving me too? I am not leaving, she said. I am letting go. Of what? I asked. Of me? Of our home? Of fear, she said. I give it back tonight. Her hands trembled. I wrapped mine over hers. Her skin felt cold but steady. We breathed together. Read it when thunder calls, she said. Not before. I am afraid, I said. My courage feels thin. Borrow mine, she said. I carried yours for years. Steps sounded at the far door. Time ran out. Tell father I love him still, I said. Please tell him. I will, she said. Tell yourself you live still. She slipped into shadow. Then she was gone. The key turned again. Silence filled the hallway. I sat with the letter. My hands would not tear. I waited for thunder. I counted like a child. 1, 2, 3. The sky broke open. I opened the letter slow. The paper sighed. Her handwriting walked across the page. Plain, steady, kind. My Clara, it began. I know you are mine. I know you kept your promise. I know the truth. I feel your pain at night. I hold it close. I ask God for mercy. I ask him for light. If the law fails you now, hold to your name. Do not trade soul for freedom. Do not beg lies. Let betrayal eat itself down. Let justice rise clean. Choose life each morning. Choose hope under the darkest roof. If I cannot see you free, I will still sing. My song will touch your sleep. It will guide you. Forgive your father one day. His love is wounded. Trust the friend who comes quiet. Shun the smiling wolf. Keep this letter near your heart. It is our home. When the storm lifts, walk forward. Leave your fear here. I am with you, always. The last line blurred. Tears finally came. They burned like salt and smoke. I folded the letter small. I tucked it in my dress. I pressed it to my heart. Heat met heat. Thunder rolled again. The lamps flickered. I stood and wiped my face. My breath grew calm. Mother gave me choice, I said. I choose life. I looked at the lock. I looked at the door. I could not break iron, but I could break silence. I called to the guard. Sir, I need a word. He grunted and came near. What is it now? I will speak to the marshal, I said. Tonight. Why? He asked. Ready to confess your crime? I will confess nothing, I said. I will give truth. The truth about Hank, I said. And Ethan's fear. He stared at me long. You play a hard game. I do not play, I said. I live and remember. Tell the marshal, I said. Before fate moves first. He shrugged and left slow. Keys rang in the hall. I felt the letter again. It pulsed like a small drum. The storm hammered the roof. The jail hummed with power. I finally understood mercy. Mercy was courage with pain. I lay down and closed my eyes. I kept watch within. The rain slowed when he came. Boots tapped careful steps. A key turned. A tall man entered, coat wet and plain. I am Marshal Avery Boone, he said. I know, I said. The town trusts your calm. I prefer facts, he said, eyes steady. Then ask, I said. I am tired of rumors. He moved close to the bars, notebook ready. Tell me the mill, he said. Only truth. I met Ethan there, I said, throat tight. He feared a shadow and begged for help. Did he name the shadow? Boone asked, writing. He said a deputy pushed him to lie. He said law and blood made dirty soup. And then the gunshot? Boone asked, calm. It came fast, I said, like a slap. Ethan looked at me, then folded like cloth. I did not fire, I said. I swear, Boone watched my hands. Why did you go? I loved him, I said. I needed truth. And courage? He asked, almost kind. Courage hurt, I said. But I went anyway. Who arrived after the shot? He asked. Deputy Hank came too fast, I said flat. He smiled like fate already chose my neck. The mill sits far from the jail, I added. Strange, Boone said. Useful too, I gripped the bars. Will you believe me? I believe what I can test, he said. I brought a sieve and 2 bags. For what? I asked, hope small and bright. The stove ash, he said. You mentioned proof. Ethan hid a bullet case there, I said. I searched before here, Boone said, measured. Did you find it? I asked, breath held. Boone reached into his coat and paused. First, say the mark on the case. Small brass, nicked rim, hand-filed groove, I said. He drew out a tiny canvas wrap. Inside lay brass, dull and ugly truth. Is this the same? He asked, eyes sharp. Yes, I breathed. Ethan kept that one. It lay under ash and bent nails, he said. Then the shadow is real, I whispered. The shadow breathes, he said, and carries rank. Hank, I said. The name tasted like rust. Speak plain, Boone said. I must act. Hank broke seals and warned Ethan to drop. Hank mocked my father's mercy and the law. Boone wrote, then looked at me long. Your father stands between mercy and truth. My father stands in pain and silence, I said. But I still love our home and promise. We test this case, Boone said, voice firm. How? I asked. The town wants my blood. We match grooves to Hank's revolver, he said. Judge Wallace can watch the work at dawn. Footsteps rasped outside. Keys scraped the door. Hank laughed low, like a knife on bone. Marshal, he called. You cozy with the girl? I am working the law, Boone said, cool. Ask the right things, Hank said through bars. I will, Boone said. Bring your sidearm list. My list, Hank said. Why would you need that? Inventory builds trust, Boone said. Bring it. Hank spat and left, boots loud as drums. I leaned against iron and exhaled slow. Thank you, I said. Hope came back a little. Keep breathing, Boone said. Hope likes rhythm. He checked the window seam and the floor. This hinge shows fresh scratches, he said. Hank opened it last night, I whispered. I heard metal during a break in rain. Did he talk? Boone asked, eyes narrowed. He hummed and said, case or no case. Then he hunted Ash, Boone said, pocketing proof. He hunted me, I said. He wants my fate. You will not pay for his secrets, Boone said. Can you promise? I asked. Promises break easy. I promise effort, he said, and clean steps. That is enough, I said. I will help. Tell me Ethan's last words, Boone asked softly. He said, trust the badge, not the man. Tears came, then stopped. I wiped them away. Boone gave me a cloth. Keep that, he said. It smells like home and wood smoke, I said. Home holds memory, he said. Memory holds proof. Proof frees hope, I said, and builds courage. Good, he said. Now sign your statement. He slid paper through. I signed with care. He read it back, crisp and clear. Any change? He asked. Any missing truth? It is true, I said. Short and clean. Short wins, he said. Juries like clean steps. Will a jury hear me? I asked, scared. If needed, he said. First, the judge listens. Rain rose again, beating hard on stone. Boone fixed his hat, and turned to leave. "I go lock this evidence with chain." "Please hurry," I said. Night grows fear fast. "I return before dawn," Boone said at last. "Bring courage," I said. "I will bring breath." "Bring trust," he said. "I will bring proof." He slipped out. The hall swallowed his shape. I sat and counted breaths, not tears, like promised. The doors opened. Heat hit my face. I smelled sweat. The room buzzed. My boots hit the floor. I saw my father behind the judge. His eyes held silence, not mercy. I breathed slow and found courage. I told myself, "Tell the truth." The judge said, "State your name." I stood straight. "I am Clara Ward," I said. "I am innocent." He nodded. "We will see," he said. "This town needs justice." Hank sat near the rail and smirked. Old pain rose in my chest. Ethan's memory floated like smoke. Marshal Boone stood to my right. He whispered, "Hold your ground." The judge said, "Proceed." The prosecutor asked quick questions. "Did you love Ethan?" he asked. "I did," I said. "Did you fight with him?" "We argued that night," I said. "Did you threaten him?" "No," I said. My voice shook. The crowd leaned in. Ruth walked to the stand. She would not meet my eyes. "Tell the court," the lawyer said. "What did you see?" Ruth looked at the floor. "I heard loud words," she said. "I saw Clara near the barn. Ethan looked angry and scared. Did she hold a gun?" "I did not see a gun," she said. A thin breath left me. My father watched her, unreadable and still. I searched his face for trust. I found a shadow instead. The judge turned to me. "Your turn," he said. I stood and spoke. "I will tell the truth," I said. "I will not hide." "I met Ethan near the barn," I said. "He told me about a ring, a smuggling ring that bled this town. He feared Hank and his men. He begged me to stay silent. I refused and asked for help. I asked him to choose courage. We argued because I loved him. I wanted law and justice. I wanted hope for our home." Murmurs rose. The judge hit the gavel. "Order," he said. "Names," he demanded. "Who ran this ring?" I faced Hank and spoke. "Hank Miller led it," I said. "He used the badge for money. He used fear like a whip. He threatened Ethan and me. He warned me to stay silent." Hank jumped up. "Lies," he shouted. "She betrayed Ethan's trust. She killed him from rage." He pointed at me and sneered. Boone lifted a small paper bag. "Your Honor," he said, "I ask to present a bullet." The judge waved him forward. Boone handed over the bag. "We found this near the barn," he said. The judge raised a brow. "And?" he asked. Boone looked at Hank. "It matches a rare load," he said. "Only one man here used it. Hank's revolver left that pattern." The room gasped. Hank's face hardened. My father gripped his chair. The prosecutor sputtered. "This proves nothing," he said. "Guns share marks." Boone stayed calm. "I ran a careful test," he said. "The grooves matched exact lines. The base showed a shaved lip. Hank files his rounds that way." Hank laughed, bitter and loud. "You think grooves mean truth?" he said. "You want drama, Marshal?" "Ask her about the badge," he said. "Ask why Ethan wore it." "I gave Ethan my badge," I said. "He needed a shield that night. He felt hunted by Hank's men. He wanted the judge's notice. I made that choice with pain. It was a promise of courage." The judge leaned toward me. "Why keep this secret?" he asked. "Why not come sooner with proof?" I swallowed. "Because fear sat in our home," I said. "Because trust broke like thin glass. Because the law served a shadow." Boone turned to my father. "Sheriff Ward," he said, "you know Hank's roots and logs. Did those logs hold a secret?" My father stood and faced the court. "2 pages went missing last week," he said. "They tracked Hank near the barn. Hank lunged for the door. 2 deputies grabbed his arms. He fought like a wild animal. The judge struck wood. "Order!" he barked. My knees softened. Boone steadied my back. "Breathe," he said. "You're almost there." I nodded and found my voice. "Ethan feared one last choice," I said. "Stay silent and live in pain, or speak and maybe die for justice." He chose truth that night. The room fell silent. The judge spoke low. "Deputies, take Hank to jail," he said. "Hold him without bond tonight. We will try him for murder." I looked at my father. He met my eyes. "Daughter," he said, unsteady, "I failed you with silence." Tears burned, but I held steady. "We both paid," I said, "but truth stood up today." The gavel fell. The crowd parted. I walked past Hank in chains. He hissed, "This is not over." I answered, "Justice already started." Hope lifted my chest. I stepped into night air. I stood when my father stood. He looked at me, then at Hank. I waited. He raised a hand for silence. He said, "I promised mercy to this town. But mercy means nothing without justice. And justice begins with truth." I faced Hank and spoke. I said, "You framed me for Ethan. You used blood and shadow to hide. You sold the law for money. You called it order, but it was pain." Hank smiled and shook his head. He said, "Girl, stop this drama. The jail held you for a reason. People saw you fight your lover. They heard you swear revenge that night." I felt the room tilt. I said, "I fought, but I loved him. He begged me to keep his secret. He feared the ring you led. He left me a promise and a clue." Boone stepped closer and nodded. He said, "I found the missing case. It matched your gun, Deputy Miller. The truth is simple and heavy. You shot Ethan near the riverbank." Hank laughed at the floorboards. He said, "Stories are cheap, Marshal. Where is the proof besides words?" My father spoke then, voice steady. He said, "Proof stands in my memory. I heard your threat in the stable. You said, 'Pay me, or bleed.' You thought the storm would hide it. But fate kept the door half open." I looked at father and cried. Tears burned, but I held the line. I said, "I still trust your promise. You gave mercy, now choose justice." Judge Wallace cleared his throat hard. He said, "This court needs calm order. No more shows, or I call guards." The crowd murmured like a river. Home felt far, but hope felt near. Hank reached for his belt slowly. I saw the shadow of a choice. I said, "Don't do this, Hank. You still have a road to mercy." He whispered, "Mercy is for fools. I take freedom with my own hands." My father stepped between us, tall. He said, "Put it down, son. I will not ask again, not twice." Hank's hand kept moving anyway. My breath went short and sharp. Boone said, "Deputy, stop." "Last warning." Hank drew and fired into the wall. The blast filled the room with smoke. People fell and screamed in fear. I heard the stamp of boots everywhere. My father raised his revolver and aimed. He said, "Justice, not blood. Ends this." I saw his hand tremble once. Then it stilled like winter water. He fired one shot into Hank. The sound broke my ribs inside. Hank fell hard and dropped his gun. He stared up at the long ceiling. He said, "I only wanted power. I thought pain made me strong. Tell the town I never begged." My father lowered the gun slowly. He looked smaller in the lamplight. He said, "I kept my promise, Clara. Mercy for the town, justice for you." I walked to him on weak legs. I said I wanted truth, not death. But choice came with a hard price. He nodded and wiped his eyes. He said, "I know the cost." Boone checked Hank for a pulse. He said, "He is gone. It's over." The judge said, "Court is dismissed." Write the record with clear words. People rose like wheat in wind. I stood still, lost in memory. I felt the heavy badge in hand. It was warm, like a living thing. I set it on my father's palm. He closed his fingers around it. He whispered, "Forgiveness lives in time." I said, "I will try to forgive, but I will not forget this night." He answered, "Do not forget, my daughter. Carry the truth, not the shame." We walked out under a cold sky. The town lights looked soft and far. My pain stayed, but hope walked beside. I took my father's arm gently. He leaned on me like a tired oak. We passed the jail and the church. The road home shone with thin frost. I said, "We survived, but we changed. Freedom needs courage and a steady heart." He said, "You are stronger than fate." I held him and breathed the night. Mercy lived, but justice asked for tears. The wind moved the grass softly. I stood between two stones. "Father," I said, "I came." My voice shook, but I stood. "Ethan," I said, "I came too. I carried your badge here," I said. I kept my promise. I set it on Father's grave. "It was heavy," I said. "It cut my hand. Law took blood," I whispered. "Mercy paid for it." Marshal Boone waited a step away. "Are you ready, Clara?" he asked. "The train leaves soon." I nodded, but I stayed. "I need a few more words," I said. "I missed you, Father," I said. "I wanted your eyes to trust me. You taught me truth," I said. "You taught me courage, too." Tears came slow and hot. "But justice hurt us both," I said. Young Sam came up the path. He held wildflowers in his hands. "Miss Clara," he said softly, "can I stay with you?" I smiled and let him stand. "You can stay," I said. "Thank you for coming." He looked at the two stones. "I still like the sheriff," he said. "He kept us safe." I touched his shoulder and breathed. "He did his best," I said. "He paid a hard price." Sam nodded, then watched the sky. Ruth stood at the gate. She did not move closer. I walked to her slowly. "You came," I said. She looked down and cried. "I lied in fear," she said. "I broke our trust. Fear is strong," I said. "It caught many of us." She reached for my hand. "Can you forgive me?" she asked. I held her fingers gently. "I can try," I said. "Forgiveness takes time." She nodded and left a rose. Boone joined me again quietly. "The judge sent a letter," he said. He wrote, "The law stands." I laughed once, dry and small. "The law stood," I said. "But Mercy learned to walk. Where will you go now?" he asked. "I will go east," I said. "I will work and read." He tipped his hat slightly. "Write the truth," he said. "People need your voice." "I will write it," I said. "I will keep it simple." I faced Ethan's name and breathed. "We loved wrong," I said. "Secrets ruined our house." "I wanted a quiet life," I said. "I wanted a clean promise." My memory showed his last smile. "I forgive you today," I said. "I forgive myself too." Mother's letter lay in my pocket. I read lines again softly. "Hope is a small lamp," it said. "Carry it through night." I folded it with care. "I will carry it," I said. "I will carry it far." Down the slope, people waited by wagons. Some waved, some turned away fast. "They called me the girl who lived," I said. I carried that name alone. I looked at Father's badge again. "I choose a new name," I said. "I choose my own fate." "What name is that?" Boone asked. "Just Clara," I said. "Just Clara is enough." I kissed my fingers and touched stone. "Goodbye, Father," I said softly. "Goodbye, Ethan," I said too. "I will keep the truth." I left the badge in sunlight. "Walk with me," Boone said. We went down the hill slowly. At the station, I bought a ticket. "1 seat east," I said. "No return today." Boone shook my hand firmly. "Freedom fits you," he said. "Wear it with courage." I smiled and stepped forward. The engine coughed, then sang. I watched the town fade back. "Goodbye, home," I said quietly. "Goodbye, jail and court." Memory pressed like a tight band. I let it go, breath by breath. "Past fear is over," I said. "Pain is lighter now." I closed my eyes and prayed. "Let me be kind," I whispered. "Let me be strong." The train rolled toward open sky. "New mercy lives in me," I said. "I am not sheriff's daughter. I am Clara and free."